Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Thursday, and here I am doing a podcast. Weird, right? I know, and
it's like the good old days, Crap. This is like we started.
I was like, "Hey, Mooch, do you want to do a podcast for about an hour?" And he was like, "Yeah, because we didn't do Xbox Nation yesterday because it was 4th of July." It was also Salty's birthday, so happy birthday to him.
Yes, happy birthday, Salt.
Yeah, Fox was with her family doing that family stuff. Hellhammer was out of town doing something in Daytona with fireworks. I don't know, and you obviously were doing stuff as well. So
fireworks, barbecue, the whole nine. I think that's par for the course on the 4th of July, Crap.
Yeah, exactly, and and you know what? So I figured, hey, why not we could do a little one. Yeah. And so I got some interesting topics that I wrote down, but you know what? I also kind of wanted to get into this because I missed a couple of days of content on YouTube, and some people were like, well, some people on YouTube were like, where you're at. Nobody on Twitter. They were like, Crapgamer's missing. Who cares? But yeah. So anyway, so Monday, we had thunderstorms roll through town and lightning. Lightning hit the pole. The electrical pole, right, and blew the transformer, and it was so interesting because that's never happened that close, right? Like, and it was weird, and it took them till the next morning to get it working. And once they got it working, I tried to get the internet and everything back up, and unfortunately, the internet was having none of it. So the modem, router, all that stuff fried. So I freaked out, and I'm like, oh man, I better replace that stuff. So I replaced that stuff, and the internet wasn't working at all. So call up the internet people, and they're like, well, we'll send somebody out. We'll make it a priority or whatever. So they came out, and they're like, yeah, it's the wires and this, and we got to replace that. And apparently the lightning messed up everything, man. It was weird. So
I keep saying to you, Crap, you got to get out of Florida, man. Florida, it's the most unappealing. I canceled the trip to Florida today because I've known you for so long. I can't take. So many bad things are happening in Florida, like the hurricane. I mean, listen, lightning has struck that one power cord in front of your house like twice. You know what the odds are of that? You should put like a lotto ticket on that goddamn pole. I've never seen anything like this,
dude. I haven't either, but I mean, we don't usually. It rains this time of the year like all the time. It's just what it does. Right. And I haven't really had this type of situation. So yeah, it was weird. And then they get everything. And it was a little bit costly to get everything kind of up and going and everything. But hey, at the end of the day, hey, Lugo, he says donate into Crap because he complains we give too much to Mooch.
Great. Lugo, by the way, don't forget Crossfire tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Hey, you know what? It's so weird because we haven't done a podcast in like a week because we didn't do Crossfire. Yeah. We didn't do MNC. There was no BGST and no MNC yesterday.
Xbox Nation yesterday. Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a good week, and I miss it. I know people are like, well, you do so much content and stuff. Does it really matter? I start to miss it. It's like,
what it is, Crap. Listen, first of all, it was a good week for a break, even though it wasn't planned. It really wasn't planned, but it's a good week off. The news that came out, I kept up on everything. You've definitely put out your media as much as you could, barring the issue with the storm. Yeah. And to be honest with you, there's some good stuff to talk about, but in reality, it was a good week because here we are after E3. Now the post shows that Phil Spencer's done, the one-liners that people have taken a sentence or two and done many shows off of have passed, and now we're kind of waiting for what? Gamescom. Not to jump to the next best thing, but really now people are starting to look at Gamescom, what that may or may not bring. So there's plenty for us to talk about tonight, but it was a good week to kind of take off if you had to pick one.
Hey, Phil Pyromancer just donated 2, and he says because Mooch is getting the other 8.
That might be the best super chat I've ever seen.
That's horrible, man. I just had to replace.
It
is. I just had to replace my modem and everything. So yeah, man, it's interesting. Hey, so Panda's like Xbox has no games, and I'm like I have over 600 of them. And he's like, you don't play 590 of them. I don't know, man. I put in a lot of games. I think I'm at the 150,000 gamer score, man. I play a lot more than you'd think. Let's see. Just recently is that Red Faction Remastered Edition. I've been playing that.
Yes.
I've been playing.
You have been playing that. I like how you asked me if I was getting that.
Well, I was gonna mooch. I was gonna give you a code.
Well, you couldn't give me a code. It's different than are you going to buy it?
Well, I just was like wondering if you were interested in it.
Hey, Mooch, are you buying a Mercedes tomorrow? No, it's not on my agenda. Well, I had this extra one, but I gave it to someone else.
Well, no,
that has nothing to do with it.
I had a spare code, but I was wondering if that's something you were interested in. And if not, then like I don't want to waste it because there might be somebody
after I eat a huge meal. Okay, I have a huge. Somebody's like, we've got an extra hamburger. We have the wrong order, wrong table. Would you like it? Of course, I'm going to take it. I'm not taking a free hamburger.
I know what you're saying, man. So like, yeah, like I have that, and then Nier, obviously, I actually like that. I'm surprisingly.
How far would you say you are?
Let me see.
I'm in the midst of the desert area very early on. I beat somebody in the desert.
Right. So I'm probably kind of early on as well. And it was, I like it. It's.
Well, I got something I got to say, and I do have to give props to Rand Althor. So I did listen to Rand's review crap, and the whole thing about it is that, and I've heard it from a few people, but Rand confirmed it that you have to play the game basically 3 times through to get the full story. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that's great. I do. I think that's great. I think if you aren't in a position like us where we play a lot of the games to do reviews or to discuss on podcasts, I think that's a great way for you to get your $60 or in this case your $49 worth, because the playthroughs matter. But there's a huge. However, we are in the backlog section of the summer, and I'm trying to play through some older games. I'm also trying to keep up. I know this gets crap loves this, but I'm catching up on Destiny. I'm making sure that my characters are fully whatever it is going to be 385, full level 385. So I'm ready for September. That still takes work to get all 3 characters up. So there's stuff I'm doing there. Working on Rise of the Tomb Raider. I am going to play by the end of the summer. I am going to play Fallout 4 because I want to get ready for Fallout 76. Not that you need it. You don't need it, but I want to be accustomed to the world.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that I want to do. So when I was watching Rand's review and he's like, listen, ultimately, and he said, do what you want. But he said, if you're not going to play it through 3 times, you're kind of wasting your time. And it made me put the brakes on today.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I'm definitely not playing this thing 3 times through. That's not happening.
Yeah. Like I don't have time for that. I'll probably play it through once. And then
I don't know if I'm gonna, to be honest with you.
I might, I like the combat. It flows, you know what I mean? The story's a little weird. Yeah. I don't think it's bad. I think it's pretty good. It's it's one of those things. I'm happy that Microsoft is going out there and bringing in some of these extra games. Some of these Japanese style games. They might not be for everybody, but hey, you know what? I think that a lot of people are asking for some of these types, and the fact that you see them on the top paid list is something that's a little bit refreshing as well. Like same thing with Crash Bandicoot, which I gotta say. I have that on PS4 Pro and Xbox, and it looks like a different game on Xbox, completely.
So I played it, crap. I've played a couple. Man, listen, guys, nostalgia is one hell of a drug because let me tell you, you go to play the game, right? And you're like, I can't wait to play it. 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 I remember when this was great. I remember when I did this. I remember this. I remember. Then you sit down, you start playing it, and you're like, now I remember why I'm so glad it's 2018. Right?
Well, you know what's funny? Like shout out to AJ Felton, right? You know him, right?
I know AJ.
Cool guy. Me and him had this like a discussion today about Shenmue, the Shenmue collection, right? Like 1 and 2, they're coming in or whatever. Yeah. And I said, you know what, dude? I said some things are better left in the past because I went back to Shenmue 2 about a month ago, and I tell you what. That game has some of the most clunky gameplay and controls I've ever experienced. And those QTE type games are so much better perfected nowadays. And when you look at the graphics for that remaster, it's the same stuff. It's just up-resed, right? Yeah. So it's not really like a lot of people. And if you go look at it, those games didn't. I know there's this, and I liked those games back then,
right?
But I just don't think right now that there's going to be something that's going to attract new fans to the series. Nobody's that hasn't played those games before is going to get into the series through those remasters, right? So I told him, I was like, dude, I said, I think that they're not going to do very well, and you're going to go back and it might taint your experience because it did mine.
It does.
I had such a good time with them back on the Dreamcast and stuff when that was originally came out.
Look, Crap, let me just intervene real quick. I just want to give everyone another example because I don't think a lot of our audience is really drooling to get to Shenmue 1, 2, 3 or anything. So I'll say this much. Battletoads, right? You have no idea as a kid how much time I put into Battletoads. I love that freaking game. I know it was hard. I know it was frustrating. Fill in the blank. You guys fill in the blank with any curse word you want for that. That's fine. Yeah. But I loved it. And then when what is it there? The Rare Replay came out, right? Or whatever it was. Yeah. It had all their games. I raced, got it, put on Battletoads, and I'm like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this. I don't want nothing to do with this damn thing.
You know, so, I actually like the Battletoads arcade game better than
that was better.
The NES one, right? So by the way, my NES Classic came in today. I ordered that.
Yeah, let us know how you like the 3 hours with it.
Well, you know what? I haven't even hooked up the SNES Classic, but I damn sure got them.
The defense rests. Yes.
Nostalgia. You know what? Look.
I have the SNES Classic crap, and I got news for you. I got about 3 hours logged in.
I know. I have no hours logged into it. It's not really my fault. Like, you know, but I will say this: when there's no power, you know, what's really a godsend is my 2DS XL, man. I didn't have anything to do, so I'm just chilling. You know,
What'd you play?
I have Mario 3D Land. I've got a bunch of games. I
know you have a lot, but what did you play?
I played Smash Brothers on it, and I played Mario 3D Land, and I also played Mario Kart 7, which is on there. Good games, man.
No, they are. There's no and if or but there. There's nothing wrong with that. My whole thing is just that it's, you know, it's again.
Well, I mean, if you got nothing else, if you're like there's like nothing to do, and it's like hot,
why'd you pull out your Switch?
Well, I don't know. Like I did for a little while. The problem is, man, that's not comfortable for me to hold as a handheld. I don't like that as much.
Did you get the Pro controller?
I do have a Pro controller, and I also got some other things for it. But I just like when I'm handheld gaming, I just prefer the 2DS or whatever. So, for me, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Hey, hit that like button, guys. Damn it. Yeah, I don't do impromptu stuff very often, but we were like, Mooch actually suggested it. He's like,
I said to him yesterday, I said, why don't we do something and just kind of keep, we got to keep the flow going here because it is the dog days of summer here, folks. And I know everyone's into their backlogs. I know this, and I know Crap's got a couple subjects he wants to touch on, but I mean, realistically, I kind of miss podcasting. You know, you take a week off and you're like, I got to get back into it. That's what I say to a lot of people. I think the reason that the 321 people currently watching, and thank you for being here. You guys are here because we genuinely like to talk games, you know, and like to make it a little bit entertaining for you guys. So this is how me and Crap, actually, this is how Xbox Nation and Crossfire all kind of became, was Crap had said, hey, you know, you seem to like to talk and you like games, and we kind of seem to be on the same page here. Let's do a show. You know, it's kind of like
Italians, man.
Yeah, the wacky Italians were doing an impression of Costanza and Seinfeld.
They were. Hey, you know what's funny was somebody mentioned it. I think Snoopy was like, "Oh, you got to get Mooch to do his Fredo impersonation," and it was funny because I wanted to talk about Inside Xbox for a second.
Oh, it's coming back.
Yeah, Inside Xbox is going to be on the 10th, but their very own Fredo isn't going to be there. He said he's going to be away on holiday or something like that.
That's even worse to prove the point.
I know. There's so
this show can go on so much without him. Imagine that. He was a third of the show, if not half of it. And he's like, hey guys, listen, next week I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to be on vacation. And he's like, yeah, it's okay. We know you're on vacation. That's why we're doing it next week. I'm smart. I can handle it. I can do it from the road.
It's me, AC.
Oh,
like you just, God. I don't know. Yeah, it's like the guy's he's a nice guy. It's gonna be.
He's great.
How they how they try that out. You know what I mean? Without him,
the show might be better. Crap.
Hey,
I hate to say it.
Hey, I am looking at it for the first time with better eyes on Major Nelson.
You did Godfather. You cut the Fredo scenes out. It still does very well.
I'm sure it does.
Okay, it's the way it is.
Yeah. So they are teasing some stuff. It's probably not going to be anything big. But, you know, I think that they are going to tease.
What do you think?
I think they're going to have some kind of Game Pass surprise. Because if you look at the Game Pass games that they announced the other day, they aren't very good.
No.
And so I think that, you know, it's going to be something that it's probably just going to be something. Maybe it's something from it's probably going to be a couple days ago or whatever, or a couple years ago. You know, hey, we're very proud to present. I bet it's the Master Chief Collection finally.
Well, you want to know some Crap? Let's just put it mildly. If it's the Master Chief Collection, including the 4K upres, everything going on, I'd be happy. I'd be happy. Let's do it. Give us the Master Chief Collection once and for all.
Well, that goes into another topic that I actually had, which was the first Halo Master Chief Collection 4K screenshots were posted, and they look amazing. Like, holy crap, they do. I was amazed by this. So I think we might get some kind of announcement that it's going to go into there. If I had to guess, I don't think it's going to be like something.
What else
huge.
do they tease about Inside Xbox?
Forza Horizon 4 stuff, We Happy Few stuff, prize.
Do you think we'll see anything Crackdown 3?
No.
Huh. I think you're right, but I think they should.
I don't think we're gonna see anything. I actually don't think we're gonna see anything unless they do some kind of other show this year. I don't think we're gonna see much on Crackdown 3. Oddly enough, I wish that we would, because everybody's like, hey, what are we gonna see? Does it have the destruction? Does it have this? Does it have that? I'm not sure, but I hope that we do get some of that. Like for me personally, I think that everybody's dying for something multiplayer related with that. Right. Remember, for the longest time, people were like, does it have a single player? And now we've seen the single player twice, and it looked much better this last time, but everybody wants to see what happens with the multiplayer. And I think people are a little bit worried about it.
I don't think, and I know, Crap, you've given plenty of examples. There's been people who've come out in the press now. There's been pressers that have been released that have saying that everything's going to be fine. I have this odd suspicion that Crackdown 3's multiplayer is not what we think it's going to be. I just don't. There's probably going to be some destruction. Like you're playing that Red Faction, whatever it's called, remastered or whatever it is.
Yeah, what a ridiculous name for that, by the way. But it does have full destruction.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I would like you to next time. I do want to harp on something again here, Crap, as a Mooch. Next time you pose the question, could you just say it as, "Hey, Mooch, I have a code for this. Are you interested in playing it?" And watch how my answer changes,
dude. Well, you know what? Like I do that sometimes. I'll ask people. I'll be like, "Were you thinking about picking this game up?"
Right.
And I want to see if people are actually interested in it. And then if
that's like a Secret Santa in July.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The thing is I mooch a little bit myself. So I usually try to pay it forward. I just don't tell people.
There's a little mooch in everybody.
Yeah. Hey, I by the way, I mooched Nier Automata because I wasn't sure if it'd be my kind of game.
Understood.
So I put the feelers out. I was like, hey, I'm looking to mooch this game. And and somebody was like, hey, sure thing. Surprise. A sneaky memo, by the way.
You know what's funny? I got a from Sneaky. I have an IOU mooch. Yeah, because remember he said he was going to hook me up, but the game that he hooked me up with I already had, so he was able to resend it as the gift. You could do that. You have like 3 days.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't launch it or anything. I told him I had it already. He goes, well, then in the fall when the games come out, you tell me which one you want. You got it. So I have an IOU mooch left in reserves, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. Nice. Always nice to have a reserve mooch.
It is. And
just in case.
Did you did you play Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, or 3?
I played 1. I went right.
One is the worst.
It's terrible.
It is. It's the worst. I would say going for the second or third one.
Yes.
They got much better. The first one gets really difficult at times. Like the difficulty spikes.
The difficulties at the part that I'm at, Crap, the difficulty ranges just because of the inaccuracy of the jumping. Yeah, I mean the inaccuracy of the mechanics. Like I cleared a jump one time and the guy was, the crash was just like, nope. He just took a dive. That was it. It was over. I'm like, all right, so we're over. That's it. Now, don't get me wrong. The nostalgia factor comes in because if you go back, if you're an 80s, 90s gamer, okay, you remember that's what all the games were. They were like that. We're jumping. You could get to the end of a game and just fall through a level. You clearly made it, but because it just didn't work, that's just the way the game was. And that's when you just, as a kid, sat there, stared at your TV, and you were like, I'm never doing this again. But you did because that was the only game you had. It was different back then. So, but yeah,
I was a 90s gamer for sure.
Of course
I remember playing the hell out of Crash. I like that game, but again, I like back in the day, I think there wasn't much else like that.
That's what I'm saying, Crap. There was nothing like it, Crap, but there was also nothing else.
Yeah,
that was the game you had at the time. I mean, I probably put 250 hours into Bionic Commando. I mean, who would do that?
Bionic Commando.
Well, I'm going to sit here and tell you I did too. But I bet you if somebody handed me the original one right now and said, hey, play this for 50 hours, I tell them to go stick it where the moon don't shine.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that for 50 hours now. Thank you, everybody.
I love that game though. Back when I was a kid, man, like
so did I.
Was there was nothing else like that. So,
dude, I beat Ghosts and Goblins. I put that on my resume.
Oh, yeah, that's
they're like, well, your Cume was okay, but holy shit, you beat Ghosts and Goblins? I did. We'll get this man an office with a window.
Well, yeah, I can. For me personally, man, I don't think that I would have been able to beat that. I've never beat that game. A
lot of cursing. Well, kid cursing,
Yeah, because
dang it.
To beat that game, you have to beat it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an incredibly tough game. So
loved
it. Yeah. You know what? Here's a little bit of information I wanted to talk to you about. Microsoft is working with Japanese developers on the next Xbox, which I thought was a little bit weird. I kind of did a video on this a while back, and now all of a sudden this hits a hot topic list. Like nobody cared about this a week ago, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, "Woo, man, can you believe this?" And I'm like, "I believe it because I did a video on it." But do you think Microsoft is going to go all in for like this next gen thing, like in other places besides just the US and the UK? Do you think they're actually going to try to appeal to some of these other markets for the first time? And if they do, I think that could be, that could be huge for them.
Well, here's the thing, Crap. It's kind of what they're going to stick with their motto of what they've been doing. Think about it. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it was about a year after Phil came into office. They started this whole kumbaya, right thing. They're lighting candles. Everybody's welcome to come. We love games. Games love us. And they did this thing. And it was kind of ridiculed. It was kind of silly. But they just kept doing it. And what it's doing now with the effects of crossplay and things like that, and you're seeing them be like, it doesn't matter. Come on. You got Ninja Theory did a video that was like, we asked for the sky, the stars, and the moon. And Microsoft gave us all those and Mars. Yeah. And you're like, wow. So they're doing this whole nice guy thing. Hear me out. It's slowly getting them customers back. Now, let's take what you're talking about, the Japanese games. They're going to go out there and get them. Does that mean all of a sudden in Austria, Germany, Italy, and parts of Asia, people are going to be like, I need an Xbox. Phil, cut a deal. No, absolutely not. PlayStation's still going to run as the king out there for probably, I would say, almost halfway through next generation. What may happen here is he's going to solidify by doing all this goodwill stuff and getting all those Japanese games back onto his Xbox platform, keep the American people going, wow, in the UK, okay, and the Australians and part of South America that is big Xbox territories, those folks will be like, I don't need to go over to PlayStation because now Phil's got the games that I thought about going over there here. So he's going to retain his customers and then slowly bleed a couple of the PS4 folks over into the PS5, Xbox 2 generation. So what I'm saying here, long-winded, is, Crap, it's all a series of goodwill, right? And getting these relationships built again, rebuilding the bridges that were burned over the years. And that will slowly, but those bridges built will bring consumers back over to Xbox. Does that mean, again, in Austria, Germany, Italy, and parts of Asia that they're going to win? I don't think so. However, they will do better than they have in those markets than you've seen in the past 3-4 years. And that is really all Phil really needs to do is do better in those markets. And he needs to win in the US. He needs to win in the UK. And he needs to win in Australia. And he needs to win in South America. Brazil's big as far as Xbox as well.
Well, did you hear there was that new Anthem thing and it says that it's going to be native 4K on the Xbox One X.
Now, that was press release from who?
From EA.
Okay, if it's coming from EA, then that's very good. But Crap, you did a video on this too. Yeah. You've been talking about it on Twitter. All of a sudden, resolution's no big deal anymore.
It's so funny how it's not a big deal at all. Like nobody wants to talk about it. I've never seen.
Isn't it like it? It's surreal. It's only been 6 months.
It's the most surreal thing. Like, here's the thing. Like Digital Foundry does that stuff, but they don't even focus on the resolution as much anymore. It's always about like,
they did a breakdown of PS4 Spider-Man and they put it right on the screen. They were like, listen, they're like 1440p and it's glorious.
It is. It's cool. It's glorious. 1440p.
Glorious.
It's amazing. It's
genius. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute. 6 months ago, if the PS4 was at 4K, the Pro, and the Xbox One X was only doing 1440p, they'd be like, Microsoft almost nailed it. Such a good game. This Spider-Man game, if you flip everything, folks, take the, 1440p for a Spider-Man game, don't you think it would have looked a little bit better, Ken, if they did it at full 4K? I do. I truly do. Now pass me my tea. And it's like, what? Like all of a sudden, crap, it is dead. 1440p is the same as 4K.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
And they're like, it's a new tech showpiece and all this. Like, I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you.
Right.
It kind of blows my mind how the narrative absolutely just changed overnight, almost as if by magic, to be honest with you. And it's surprising, but at the same time, it's not that surprising.
No.
Just because I remember saying that. I can remember back when Next Gen was a Xbox guy, and remember he was talking about better graphics. And I said, you know what? Like, it won't matter if Xbox comes out with something more powerful, because it's always going to be whatever Sony has. Right. And I was right. You know, it's always it just matters what Sony has. Now, I will say that Microsoft has done a good job at getting themselves taking more seriously again. And with the purchase of those first party studios. See, I feel like, and people don't understand this, Microsoft had a lot of people worried that they wanted to be third-party publishers or something, right? Like, just with a lot of the weird decisions that they made, right?
Right.
And I think Microsoft, this E3, I finally started seeing people. I know it's like, well, and we won't know yet until I think later this month, but people were actually buying Xbox Ones and Xbox One X's more so than I had seen previously, because I think they actually believe that Microsoft is doing something positive with the brand. They're not looking to get rid of it or anything. So I think now that people see that,
right,
starting to believe in what they're
doing. For a long time, Phil's like, I don't want to tell you what we're doing. You have to. You have to. Yeah. Why do we want to sit here and wait?
Exactly.
Like, think about it this way. Let's say you go to your local strip mall, your local downtown, and it says, bar and restaurant coming soon. Are you going to fucking bring a fold-out chair and just sit next to the coming soon sign? When's it opening? You can't support them. Like, I want to support these guys. Well, when they open, I don't know. It says coming soon. I'm just going to hang out. It's got to be someday. Sure does, dude.
Like, well, yeah, you have to get some kind of information out there to people, right? You have to be able to, like even me and you, we're both huge Xbox fans, right?
Right.
But even I told you, I was like, a lot depends on what they do this E3. Absolutely. Like, I wasn't as disappointed as you, like, in terms of, well, they got to announce this or this game or this game. I needed studio announcements.
Well, no, you wanted Fable.
I did want Fable. That was my disappointment. But
Except that I wanted that crap. I said I wanted to see a roadmap. And listen, I'll be honest with you. Look, the roadmap we got, for anybody who's played any Sea of Thieves, is kind of like the first time you open up that convoluted like hint, and you have to go to the different areas on the map to find out what the rest of it is. We at least got the first part of the clue. Okay? Yeah. They've got 5 studios. They say they're going to add more. So we know that they've revitalized Halo, right? They're doing a new engine. Looks like they're putting a lot of time, money, and people into this new Infinite. You've got Gears 5 next year. I understand Gears Halo. I get the joke. I get it. But they've revitalized the brands.
Those are my favorite games.
I'm right there with you, crap. No, I'm right there with you. Yeah. I think I say all the time, people make fun of that, right? But if McDonald's was ever to cut out the Big Mac, a lot of people would stop going.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to advertise the Big Mac. But you still go there and you're like, I'll take the new sandwich, and just in case that sucks, give me a Big Mac.
Yeah, I know, man, exactly. And you're like the same thing with the Whopper over at Burger King. You take that out. Hey, look at how much people complained last year because we didn't get a Halo or a Gears. You know what I mean? So now people want to complain about it, and actually, we're not getting one this year either. But hey, shout out Gadang775 for the $5. I appreciate that, bro.
Very cool. Gadang's an awesome dude.
It is, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I agree. Like, I want to see these Halos and Gears games, just like on the Sony side. I know I want to see another Uncharted sometime soon.
Me too.
Like, I realize I hear that they built a studio and they hired some Naughty Dog people to create just those type of games. And I think that's fine.
That's smart
because I like those games. And even if they never recapture the quality of 2, that's still fine with me because I'll take an 85 rated Uncharted any day of the week.
Well, let's be honest, crap. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. You're right. Have they rekindled and found the Uncharted 2 thing? No, but then again, a lot of people would turn around and say to you that the Halo 2 and the Halo 3 hasn't been revisited. We haven't gotten as good as those two, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's fair. And but like you said, you'd still have a mediocre Halo 5 over some of the other crap.
Yeah, I like Halo 5's multiplayer. The problem with me and Halo games are I'm totally bad at the multiplayer.
Well, I don't think you're bad, Crap. I think the problem with the Halo, that's a family. You know, that's not even like that's not a group or a get together. That's a family. And if you're, and I know you, Crap, I've known you for a long time, and a lot of people are like, I'm not, this isn't just a Crap. If you're not, okay, if you're not going to invest hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours in the Halo, I mean, yeah, you want to do a private group or you want to just go in and play with your friends, knock yourself out. But like the people you play against in Halo, they're good. And that's a home. It's a family. So you're either in it or you're out. And that's why you said your comment makes a lot of sense to me, Crap, because that's the way I feel. It was the best multiplayer.
Yeah.
But on top of it being the best multiplayer, I'm not going to invest 1,000 hours into it. Yeah. So what good is it?
Well, you know what? I like the Halo. Like we used to do. Remember they used to do game night?
Yes.
On Saturday nights, and we used to play.
It'd be good to bring that back.
Yeah, it would be, you know, like, and we used to play it, but we do the private lobbies, and you don't rank up in private lobbies. Yeah. So I'm still stuck at the same low level as I was like the entire time. So, and I know, like, you know, for with Halo, it's like people have that down. You know, it's like you jump around, and I'm not like one of those big jumpers. You know, hey, shout out to Baju Ram, man, appreciate that. I'm not one of those big jumpers. You know, like in Halo, like I'm. And I think sometimes that plays to my advantage. Everybody expects you to jump all around and stuff, and I'll come straight after you. And sometimes that's how I get a lot of kills, right? Because people expect you to kind of jump all around and stuff, and I'll just go. I'm just more methodical. And same thing with gears, right? A lot of people, you know, they'll do the wall bouncing and stuff like that. I'm not really a wall bouncer. Like I'll dodge and dip, duck, dive, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Dodge, Which, dip, by the way, when you have no internet, you can't watch Blu-rays or 4K Blu-rays. No. I had to watch DVDs on my 360 because that can play stuff offline. If you don't have an internet connection. I'm picturing
you right now like Chevy Chase when he got locked in his attic in family vacation, Christmas vacation. And you're just like sitting there watching you and Hellhammer as a kid on an old tape reel.
Well, you know what? I watched Dodgeball. By the way, I watched.
It's such a good movie.
I know.
So good.
Like I realized that my DVD
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah, Patches O'Houlihan. Yeah, and I realized that my DVD collection is very outdated. Yes. You know, because I don't buy DVDs.
Isn't it crazy? Blu-rays. Do you remember when we thought DVD was like that was when we left? We left tape, VHS tape. So we went to DVD, and everyone's like, "I said DVD. My eyes ain't touching it." And now when you watch a DVD, it feels like a VHS tape.
It does. It's not as good. So I also watched Gladiator, which I hadn't watched in a while, which I really liked that movie. So that was pretty cool.
Well, you know what, let me say this. Since you live in that part of Florida where you're having all these issues, well, then again, with no power comes no responsibility. But my whole thing is, I will say this much. Maybe you should go get you can go get a Blu-ray player now. Which we have. I have a random Blu. It's a Sony Blu-ray player. The thing is the size of an old. Remember the miniature PS2s?
Yeah,
it looks like a mini PS2.
And
it plays Blu-rays. And every once and again, if like you're saying, no, there's a reason you can't get access to, or you take it on the road. Yeah, have it. That way you can play the Blu-ray because you have a lot of Blu-rays.
But does it play Blu-ray or does it because the ones that I have, just the regular Blu-rays, needed an internet connection to play on Xbox or PS4?
Oh, no. I'm talking about this is a standalone unit. This is just a Blu-ray player. It's just a Sony Blu-ray player. It's not PS4, it's not, not a PS3.
No, exactly. So, well, just because I noticed that, you know, some of these like have if they have internet, like where they require updates, a lot of them do that to prevent like hacking and stuff like that. So
it is odd that you need to have an internet connection to watch a Blu-ray movie.
Exactly. Now there's some that doesn't require that, but everything else is like kind of does. So I don't know.
They made the Blu-ray an app?
Yeah, the Blu-ray is an app, just like achievements.
I know,
right?
and
I get why they did the achievements is because they keep people from getting into them or whatever. But you know, it's still kind of a pain in the ass. I was seeing somebody complain about that today, that they bring their Xbox with them, like they're a longshoreman or something like that. So when they're out to sea,
right,
and they play, but you get no achievements that way. So like I think you still get them when you come back, but it is not
when you come back. But then you know it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same at all. But by the way, PUBG sells 8 million on Xbox One.
That's big crap.
Yeah,
you know, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I know that they say H1Z1 is at 10 million, and I know that you know, Fortnite's at 125 million. So in that retrospect, it seems small, but PUBG's charging, and those aren't.
Yeah. I said that too. Like, why isn't anybody talking about this like it's a big deal? 8 million copies. Remember, what the Xbox One supposedly is at 12 million units sold or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
They lost 2 million. It's just yesterday on the 4th of July. Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that they're able to tout 8 million, actually, if you think about their last few games that they've had console exclusive or whatever, you have 8 million PUBG. You have they're over 3 million people on State of Decay 2, and they did over 3 million people on Sea of Thieves. So for a console they said 8 million, they've sold 8 million, dude. For PUBG, not 8 million players. They said sales.
They said sales. 8 million copies is what I read as well.
Yep, 8 million according to their own official report. And the reason why they'll say sales in that is because Bluehole owns that, and they're going to talk about that anyway.
Right.
So that's why they're going to.
You made a good point, Crap, in your video when you were talking about how this is something very similar to what Xbox did with 360 with the Minecraft thing, right? And then they ended up going to sell 10 million. You said in the first year. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not trying to say it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. But Microsoft's just going to acquire Bluehole.
I've heard that. And
it's just going to happen, Crap, because it's attrition. What's Bluehole going to do? Like they're not like there's H1Z1, there's Fortnite on the other console. The battle royale thing by this November is going to be completely and utter played out between Battlefield doing it and Call of Duty and probably Red Dead 2 and fill in the blank. So my point being is like Bluehole's going to be like, all right, so Microsoft, what are you offering again? Because we're listening. You know, they're going to take it.
And I think Microsoft, I had heard that rumor of them and Remedy before. The funny thing for me personally is I heard that they're interested in PUBG a lot for the mobile thing as well.
Right.
Because they're into the mobile side of things, and that's very appealing to them. So to see the numbers that they've actually been able to kind of put up is very impressive.
Microsoft doesn't have anything like that in the mobile. I mean, they have Minecraft, but they want more.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, Shin Seiya. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
That's very cool. I mean, and somebody wrote, I don't know if you're allowed to go through, they said, Bluehole, sucks. Listen, I'm not saying they should, trust me, if they do acquire them, they're going to acquire them for the cost of a large French fry.
Yeah.
It's not going to be much because, to be honest with you, Bluehole knows that they've been out. I hate to say it. I like PUBG. I went back and played it last week again because it's been so long, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Crap, I got to be honest with you. We should do a stream on PUBG.
We should.
Because we get a lot of banter, we get a lot of talk in there because there's a lot of, there's a lot of dull time in between.
There's a lot of downtime when you're dead or when I'm dead.
Or when you're dead, yes. Or when you're deceased, yes.
You're watching Grave run around and do stuff.
And doing things, yes.
Yeah.
So,
or Space Cat.
I went back, I played it. It's a lot of fun, but let's be honest. I mean, they're getting outshined by the others. So Bluehole knows that they got to they're like, okay, we're in bed with Microsoft. Let's finish the deal.
Yeah.
So, no,
you might as well because
why not?
Because look, and I brought this up. A lot of people were like, why is Microsoft getting Minecraft timed exclusive on the 360? Well, it sold 10 million in that first year.
Right.
Here we are 6.5 months later, and PUBG's at 8 million. Do you still think it's a bad idea? No. How can anybody think that's a bad idea? Why are people not talking about this? This is a big deal. This game, although it's less obviously, than say Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm not comparing it to these games, but it's selling more than these big Sony games, and everybody's praising these and I'm not saying they're bad games either. Persona ships 2 million, and people are like, "Holy crap!
Wow.
What a shocking thing! Amazing! Congratulations! Yeah, woo!"
And then 8 million from PUBG. You don't see anything. I mean, they talked about it for a split second on the fix for 30 seconds.
Exactly, and that's what I don't understand. You actually have these huge numbers that are coming out, and nobody's really talking about it. So I think that's a little bit weird, and I think that it does deserve some praise. And that's a smart move on Microsoft's part. That possibly helped save them a little bit at the end of the year last year, having that game. So a lot of people are like, well, what's the point in getting that, the early access? Well, there you go. 8 million copies. That's incredible. That's an incredible number. And that's sold. It's not a free-to-play game. Anybody can find success like H1Z1 in a free-to-play model, right?
Listen, take it from a mooch, okay? The minute you put free up, look at people with the PS Plus and the Xbox, the games with gold, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the games they're offering on both sides are absolutely garbage. But you know what? They're free. Or they're not free, but you know what I mean? They're giving them to you. You take them.
Yeah.
You take them. It's like when you're walking through the food court. And the woman's like, or the guy's like, would you like some teriyaki chicken? Even if you're full, you take the toothpick. You do it.
It's true.
It's what we all do. There's a little mooch in everybody.
Yeah.
Look we all got a free game. Anybody that watched E3 on Mixer, we got a free game, which we can't even play yet. That's, I guess that's an interesting strategy there, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for them. Right?
You know what I love about that movie too? I was watching it is that dude Pepper is funny as hell. He's just like a lot of time. Yeah, he's hilarious. Like that guy really kind of made that movie. Failed Pyromancer dipped in again, gave me another 2.
You did.
You're gonna get only 6 tomorrow.
Only 6 tomorrow. Hopefully, find something under the couch cushions and throws it to Mooch.
Start digging in there. Yeah. So also hit that like button, guys. Let's see if we can't get over 200, man. We got a good amount watching. Let's see if we can do that. You know, it'd be cool.
But that's the thing, Crap. When it comes down to the numbers, you're talking about 8 million paid.
Yeah.
Paid.
Yeah.
Versus free. So you can't really sit there and tell me, literally go back to the food court reference. Okay. So you got Wendy's across the way and they're like, well, we sold 4,000 hamburgers. And the lady across the way says, well, I gave away 10,000 chicken teriyaki sticks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gave it away. Of course you got higher numbers, but realistically, you made nothing. You actually lost money today. So in this essence, don't get me wrong, they're not losing money. But I'm saying to you that we should congratulate the fact that a battle royale game sold 8 million in 6 months on a console. And you made this very clear in your video too, Crap, that it's buggy. It's not perfect. It's in game preview.
Yeah, I get that it's probably fun to kind of make fun of that. Oh, well, who puts a game preview game? Right. Well, when it's the hottest game, especially at the time, you do everything you can. It's got a lot of name recognition, and you have the only console that has it, right? So, just for me, I always thought it was weird when that Fortnite bundle kind of leaked out for PlayStation. Smart, sort of. Well, not really, considering the trouble that they're in lately with the crossplay stuff. But having, you brought that up before too. It's just people seeing that name on the box. Yes. Is very big, even though you can play that on anything. Whereas PUBG, the only console you can play it on is Xbox. So, people have to keep that into kind of into perspective. And I do actually think that that's smart what Microsoft did. They also announced a new PUBG Xbox One X, which I thought was pretty cool and probably long overdue. Remember, they were doing a thing where you get a download code, but this one's actually got some PUBG on the box or whatever. I don't know. So it looks pretty cool to me. They also announced the Minecraft edition one, which I think is, remember years ago, we were like, Microsoft needs to really do some Minecraft stuff, some Minecraft bundles or whatever. And they never, they dipped their toe in a bit, but never actually kind of jumped full in, which I thought was a little bit weird. But I like these moves. Don't you feel like they're being a little bit more aggressive now than they were before?
Well,
I like that.
They are, because you're seeing the change, Crap. The change is happening. The transformation's happening. And the fact that they when you have look, even though you're not selling the best, but you have the best product out there.
Yeah.
Okay. There's more Fords sold than BMWs. But BMW still, when BMW walks into a room of the auto show, their chest is way out. Ford's selling more trucks in America than we're selling BMW 5 Series. But the point of the matter is BMW has an exquisite product. Okay. So they're like, yep, we got some good shit here. Phil is saying now, before they were losing sales and they had the shittiest console of the two powerhouses. Now they got the best one out there. You've got the developers. You've got everybody who's doing the reviews and who's doing analysis, all saying the Xbox One X is the best one out there. So now they're like, okay, look, yeah, you guys want to go buy that one? I understand. I get it. And I completely get it. But when you guys are ready for the best, we're over here. And there is something to that. Yeah. There's something to that. Like I said, McDonald's is crushing it in sales. But if you're an In-N-Out fan or a Five Guys burger fan, Five Guys and In-N-Out, they're not bashful. They're like, McDonald's is crushing us in cheeseburgers every day, but ours taste better. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's that's the way it is. So what you're seeing is Microsoft's confidence come back, because when you have quality product, you have a quality, you feel better about what you're putting out there. And now you're seeing the developers want to come out. Phil said it in a few post interviews on E3. Now we're having people are reaching out to us. Yeah. We want to work with you.
And a good point of fact about that is actually the fact that it was CD Projekt Red who approached Microsoft to get that game shown on the Xbox stage, right? Because they wanted to show it in the best possible light. And the Xbox One X does that. You know, let's just be honest. That's probably early on. That's why a lot of those developers were on the PS4 stage, because that was the best way to show those games. And now we have developers going to Microsoft, beating down the door, saying, hey, we want to be able to, you know, show off our games on your console because it's the best. And you can't buy that kind of publicity. That is amazing.
You can't, buddy.
You know?
You just can't. And that's the thing. And that's why you're seeing this difference, this new step that they have, is because they've got a quality product out there. Now, what I'm really interested in, okay, and crap, I'm on record saying that PS5 and Xbox 2 are going to be really, really, really similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're going to be very similar. But Phil did say that they are striving to be the most powerful console from here on out. With that being said, what do you think they're going to do in Scarlett that's going to be able to trump the PS5? Because the PS5, the one thing they're not going to do, they're not going to be weak. You know, they're not. They're just not going to be. It's not going to be a weak system. It's not. So what is Phil and company thinking that they can put in their box that Sony probably can't afford? You know what I mean? Because Microsoft's going to spend a lot of money on it. If you're going to outdo them in power and they're both buying the most powerful chips, what are you going to do? You must put some kind of R&D or some kind of big boy money into it. I don't know. I'm just curious to see what they're going to do.
I'm not sure either, but like this developer that was kind of talking about the next Xbox and PlayStation 5 was talking about how they're both going to be kind of similar, and probably both are going to go for 4K 60 on a lot of stuff. If you look at what the Xbox One X is already doing, imagine if the X just had the ability to have a better CPU, to where it would be able to do more of these types of frame rates that we're looking for. We're already getting a lot more 60 lately than we had earlier on. We're getting the options and stuff. Even when you look at Forza Horizon 4, it's getting a 60 FPS option. Yeah, which I think is huge going forward.
You know, a couple people in the chat are like, you know, Mooch, power doesn't mean anything. Listen, that's nonsense. Let's stop. Let's just stop with that, because even if you're a PC guy, I have friends of mine that play only on PC. They've been like that for a decade. The both of them, they go back and forth with who has the most power, and they pretty much have the same. But one always trumps one with a card here or there, right? Whether the CPU's better or the GPU's better. One of them trumps each other out one way, shape, form, or another. So what I'm saying to you is now the consoles are becoming more like PCs. I know they're PCs now, but becoming more and more like that. And that's why we're having these mid-gen refreshes, etc. You can't sit there and say power doesn't matter. You may turn around and say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to you. I just care about the games. And that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I think you got a point. But you cannot sit there and tell me that power doesn't matter anymore, because it certainly does. Because the Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox, I think Microsoft and their staff are well aware that when they go home at night, you see Mikey Barra when he's got pictures of his PC. I don't know how much it is, but I'll tell you right now, he didn't get that thing for $1,500.
Well, you see that one
dude, like a $4,000 rig, maybe more.
Yeah. Who's that? Robbie Kenobi or whatever his name is.
Robbie Kenobi.
He spent $6,000 on his PC. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I can't afford to spend anything like that. Well, you know, that's why I like console game. That's why the Xbox One X was perfect for me, because believe it or not, even though people don't like to hear this, I'm gaming 4K with HDR on a 4K TV right now. That's huge. Like, who would have thought, like, at the beginning of this generation with all the resolution nonsense, that within a few years we would be able to do 4K HDR
on an Xbox.
On an Xbox.
Right. Well, let me answer Kevin Kendall, who's, you know, he's actually very loyal. I know he's a Sony guy, but he says, "Hey Mooch, so why are the better games on the less powerful console?" Well, Kevin, you know this. You already know the answer to it. I don't blame you for putting it that way. But Sony had a leg up this generation early on with the power, right? So the first 3 years, Sony didn't have a ton of games. They didn't have a ton of games. Okay, big blockbuster ones. Okay, the bangers we always talk about.
Yeah, the bangers.
Now they've got their bangers coming out for the next 2-3 years. We know that. So Microsoft, we already know that. Kevin, you're here every week, so you know this. Microsoft went through about a year or two where they didn't do anything. Nothing. Yep. No games. Nothing. And they had the bigger console.
We call that their cancel and close down years.
Right. So now, when they did actually get the green light, what do? They come out with the most powerful console. Okay, so power's back. Now you see that they've got 5 new developers on top of the developers they already own. So now we're starting to see things. So what I'm saying to you, Kevin, is this. Next generation is going to come down to power, price, and games. And that's what this generation should have been. So shame on Microsoft for not showing up to the party.
Yeah.
So you're right there, Kevin. But you can't sit there and say, well, how come the better games are on the weaker console now? You know the answer to that. We all know the answer to that. It's because Sony had that leg up. They didn't have to worry about power. They had power in their pocket the entire generation up until 6 months ago. So they were able to just go work on games. Let the media take care of our power. We're always going to get 1080p over Xbox. We've got power taken care of. We push that narrative. Now we're going to let our developers work. So now the product's coming out, Microsoft has nothing except the power.
Yeah.
So Microsoft right now is where Sony was in 2013.
Yep.
So now they've got the best multi-plats and the best way games can be played. Okay, great. Now Microsoft's got to deliver starting next generation, and so will Sony. But if Sony's got all their big-time developers with games coming out this year, next year, and the year after, well, it goes to say Sony may have a bit of a drought come 2020, 2021. Maybe. I don't know. That's the cycle we've been seeing. It's a sine wave. Everything in life is a sine wave.
Well, you know what? You're not wrong though. If you look at just the way things kind of are going, I feel like Microsoft was stuck. I mean, nobody wants to sit there and watch somebody dominate you like that, and Sony was doing that. Sony had them in a very bad spot, and it's got to be. Can you imagine being Phil Spencer and then just having your hands tied, saying you're not allowed to do anything? You can't make games, right?
Well, let me answer Kevin real quick here, crap. Kevin goes, okay, one more question, Mooch. He goes, if the power was the main issue, why is the X not selling better than the Switch? Kevin, ready? Watch this. 500 versus 300. I would drop the mic, but I don't have one. Okay? So, right? I mean, we all know people are complaining about games all the time. Oh, this is too much. This costs too much. That costs too much. This is too much. Well, you just can't. You have portability and you have Nintendo's first party in a $300 package. Plus, the Nintendo fans feel like they've been starved because the Wii U was not what they wanted.
Yeah.
So it's doing very well. Now, let's be honest too. I think the Switch is calming down. I don't think the sales are skyrocketing like they were the past 12 months. And the X is expensive. It's expensive. Listen, when you want listen to what did I just say to you guys? Mercedes versus Ford or BMW versus Ford. Okay, one's $55,000 for a sedan, and the other one at maxed out is like $35,000 for a sedan. Why are there more Fords? Well, $20,000. That's why. They're $20,000 cheaper. So this is the same thing. It's all relative. So this is the same thing. So my whole point is like the X, you're not going to put all that stuff in there. And I got news for everybody. PS5 and Xbox 2 or the Scarlett, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I still think that's going to be fine. I think both of those are going to be $500.
Yeah.
I
think the entry point is going to be the X. And I think that's going to be fine for a lot of people, actually. If you just look at it, right? So what you're seeing right now is we're getting a lot of, like, if you look at the multiplayer games, Mooch, what games aren't running? Even Forza Horizon is running a 60 frames on that.
Right.
It might not be 4K.
Right.
But it's still going to have a 60. It's probably going to be 1080 or, maybe a little bit higher than that. So you're going to have that option on the X a lot. I think that what holds back the X right now isn't the ability of itself, is the fact that it's maybe hamstrung a little bit with the other current gen stuff.
Right. Well,
So I'm just going to say, so I think that it's still going to be fun to see what happens. Like some people, you're going to be fine with the X for a little while, I think, when the next gen Xbox comes out. And they're not going to call it Scarlett. I like calling it Scarlett because Scarlett Johansson.
I'm enjoying the Jamie Moran, Scarlett Johansson memes.
Yes.
Thank you. Keep those coming, Jamie.
You can't be wrong with that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of people look, it's like phones now, right? And if you think about it, people pay all this money for these phones every year and a half or whatever. And I think that that's the idea behind these new consoles, right?
Right.
Is people want to be able to, these companies want to be able to upgrade and have you upgrade them and keep them up to date and things like that. So another thing was Call of Duty 2019. I guess that was kind of confirmed to possibly be doing for multiple next gen consoles next year. What do you think about that?
Well, before I say what I think about it, crap, what's really the logistics behind it? I mean, is it just an oops
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could just be an oops. I'm not sure if it's 100% meaning that there's going to be next gen consoles. I don't see next gen consoles next year. I think we'll get announcements for them next year, but I think that things are heating up for sure.
I think I listen. I'm still under the impression that people may go, no, Mooch, that's not true, because maybe Microsoft and Sony want to announce their new consoles at E3 next year and then launch them later on next year. I don't think so. They want to announce them saying they're coming out in a year in advance, and then they do that whole next 12 months where they lower their price and get the product they have now off and out into the wild, especially with the backward and forward compatibility going on.
Yeah.
So I really think that next gen consoles has got 2020 written all over them, and we know. The PlayStation press, remember one of the vice presidents or one of the marketing team leads said that it's 3 years out. You know, so I don't even if they were off, they weren't off by like 24 months.
Yeah.
So I'm not buying that crap. I just think that's a Freudian slip or a typo or just somebody was typing up whatever that was printed that leaked out. And that's somebody that just doesn't know anything about games and was just doing their job, typing it up, and they made a mistake.
Somebody goes, Merck says, no way they get announced a year before they drop. There's no way they're going to cannibalize sales. Microsoft did that. They announced the S and the X at the same time.
Yep.
So I think Phil doesn't really care about the old tropes because he doesn't care how you play their games, whether it be on an Xbox One X or an S or a PC. Like, he doesn't care, literally. Right. He just I know that we all think tradition, but Phil doesn't think that way. And whatever Phil, even if we don't like everything that he's doing, Merck, the same generation, there are no more generations for Microsoft. They've already said that.
No,
you're going to be able to play the quote unquote next generation stuff on your Xbox.
I think anything you've bought may even bleed into what's going on with back compat right now with the 360. So some 360, but all your Xbox One games this generation, these games are coming with you for the rest of your life for the very foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to get some of these announcements. I still think we're going to get an announcement next E3 for the next Xbox and probably the next PlayStation, because Sony's going to have to do it. I think Microsoft announced they're making a next Xbox this year just in case Sony dropped a hint for during their E3 as well, right? That way you're like, hey, us too. You know what I mean? So even if you don't like everything that Phil's done, a lot of the stuff I give him a break on, because I realize, like, me and you, Mooch, we kind of do this, so we're privy to some of the information that he had his hands tied. He wasn't allowed to do much. He had to do, and he's made Xbox profitable, and they're selling. Look at their games; they're selling. Right?
Yeah.
You would think Gamepass would be a hindrance, and it hasn't been.
No.
You would think, whether you like those games or not, that's debatable, but there's an audience for that.
Hey, look, I got a year of Game Pass. I bought it. Was on half price.
Yeah.
If they're going to start throwing, Game Pass out 100 games, okay, yes. Do I have the Microsoft games? Yes, I own those already. But there's another 96 games in there that some of them I don't own.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, for $60 a year crap? I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you right now. Everybody that's listening to this show, grab your better half, go out to an In-N-Out burger and stop on the way home and get a nightcap. You're at 60 beans.
Yeah.
Okay, you're at $60. That was 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're talking about 12 months for $60. Some games you like, some you don't. Listen, I'm playing Fallout 4 on Game Pass. I didn't buy Fallout 4.
I bought it when it was $10. I tried to tell you to buy it.
No, if anybody sees the deal on Fallout 4 or they want to mooch it and give it to me, you know where to find me. It's Mooch on Xbox Live. But I mean, nonetheless, I would like to own it because I got news for you. Short of Microsoft Studios and what they do first party, and some of the great stuff by Naughty Dog, I really like Bethesda crap. I'm just truly falling head over heels for Bethesda.
They're super friendly with Microsoft too. If there was ever going to be a game that goes Game Pass day and date, it might be a Bethesda game.
Yes, that's true. I still think that won't happen, but
I don't think it's going to happen either. But if it were, who are they closer with than Bethesda?
No one right now.
Exactly. They're like literally nobody. So
maybe
I think
EA.
No, EA is positioning themselves to try and stop having to use Xbox and PlayStation. I think that's why they bought that streaming service. And they're in it for EA, right? Like EA doesn't give a crap.
But I mean, they did the deal with Anthem, and they've got the Battlefield.
They still got to be friendly. I still think that they've got to be friendly. But you know, somebody did say, hey, Sony won the generation. What was it on 1080p versus 900 Xbox? Which is right.
Right.
Everybody cared about that.
Right.
Everybody cared about that.
That's
and
true.
now nobody cares about. Nobody talks about it, man. But I got a couple of quick topics left. Microsoft bringing mods to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't really particularly want to play mods on my Xbox games.
Me neither.
But,
it's like Game Genie. You know, I mean, it's like, oh, it's a different way to play it. Now you can be, you know, blah, blah, instead of this. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's some of them make me chuckle. Some of it, I say that's cool. I see them. I see what people are doing on PC. I see this stuff. It's on Twitter. It's all over the place. It's neat. But me, myself, like, personally, I'm not interested.
In GTA, like, I have no interest in that, to be honest with you. So,
interests me.
Yeah, I'm like you, man. I pay, which, by the way, hit that like button, guys. Maybe we can get 250 by the time the show ends. We're 570 watching, so appreciate it. Yeah, for me personally, I like to play the game the way that the developers kind of intended.
That's right.
You know, like, it's kind of goofy when I see, you know, here's this, you can play as a shopping cart as GTA. Like, that doesn't really thrill me.
Yeah, it's like instead of riding a car, you can ride on a couch.
Yeah, like,
and it's a couch going through the city. And I'm like, oh, don't get me wrong. Again, is it chuckle? Is it funny? Yeah, but it's the same way when you go. Listen, you go ahead and take your wife out, all right, and you go out for your anniversary, and all of a sudden, you know, you go to this 5-star restaurant. These guys are bringing you this unbelievable steak, and then you're like, excuse me, waiter, excuse me. I want to. Could we get some salt, some pepper, some A1 sauce, some blue cheese, and you know, go ahead and bring me some caramelized onions too.
Yeah.
And by the time you're done with it, you're not even eating what the guy made you.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm not saying it's not good, but it's just make it at home.
It is, and you know what the funny thing is? It's like, I think you can use mods on some games, like Bethesda games. I think Skyrim, but
Fallout 4,
Fallout 4, it disables your achievements when you do that, right? So
yeah, I'm not even an achievement guy, but that would bug me.
Yeah. So it's because those things can be wonky and stuff, and they don't want people to cheat. Like, I guess it would be easier to cheat and stuff like that. So I'm for it as an option for people. Again, like, I realize it. I'm an old dinosaur, Mooch. You know, I like things a certain way. I'm learning to roll with the punches a little bit.
Yeah.
As long as they keep it optional, where I don't have to do these things, or I don't want to be forced to play with keyboard and keyboard and mouse players, right? I don't want that. No. As long as I don't care if they allow it. Just make it so that you don't have to. You can disable it, right? Like, you should always have the option. Most people won't. They don't get that, right? Most people aren't smart enough or don't care enough to disable it. I do, you know? So when I play Gears, or when I play, you know, a game that has that, even the few times that I played Fortnite, I disable the crossplay. I'm not interested. You know, it's not for me. It's a me thing, you know. I definitely don't want to play against those type of people. And thankfully, Sea of Thieves apparently did get around to banning some people for the first time, you know, which is weird. Like, here we are all these months later, and they, you know, they just now are like, hey, yeah, you know, we did ban some people, you know, like, just now.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, like, remember we were playing on that game all the time. And then we kept running into people who ship you couldn't sync.
It's just it takes the breath right out of you. Crap. Takes the sails out of your ship. You know, it does, right?
It does. Not only that, just like speaking of the mods thing as well, that sort of takes you out of the immersion as well, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want that. So Jason says, hopefully the Microsoft anti-cheat AI will be able to detect keyboard and mouse adapter. Maybe. Right. I don't think that keyboard and mouse is a big thing right now. I know you can use those one things or whatever they are, but those have a lot of input lag and stuff. So I actually think that, you know, I get it. They're wanting to give people options. I always think if you're into keyboard and mouse, you probably are a PC gamer already. You know, I don't know if people are going to want to sit on their couch with a keyboard and mouse on their lap, or, you know, their coffee table or whatever. That to me takes the fun out of gaming on a console.
Yeah.
So, you know,
like, something about, I don't get me wrong. I know the keyboard and mouse guys they'll never get it. Maybe that's why we won't ever get what they're saying. But I love the controller, man. Like, the controller, even though, science will tell you we have less precision, and it's not as, you know, it's just not as a precise tool. But to be honest with you, there's something about it. It's just the way I grew up. And when you grew up playing God, if you even go back to the Atari or the Coleco, those controllers to where we are now with the Xbox One Elite controller, oh my God, you've come so far and it's so comfortable, and the access, everything is exactly where it should be for your fingertips. There's just something about it where sitting hunched over your desk with, what are you hitting there? It's the W, A, D, and E buttons, and you have a mouse that has 65 buttons on it. It's just, to me personally, it just feels like work. Anybody that works at a computer a lot of the day, I can't see you being like, you know what? Imagine you're sitting there at your desk at work, and then you're like, time for a break. And you just swivel your chair to the left and start playing on the computer next to you. Like, is that really a break?
Yeah.
Like, I have my feet up. I got a coffee table. The air conditioner's pumping. You got 70-inch television set. I mean, that's a break.
I do, man. Like, I'm the same way, man. I got this big leather recliner, and I'm just kicked back, and I'm gaming. I'm having fun. I'm cool. I don't got to worry about, all this kind of crap. I don't got to worry about this. I just can have fun, and that's more power to people that are into PC gaming. I don't care.
Absolutely.
We all have an option now to do 4K gaming in a small box, and that's, I like that option for me personally. I don't got to mess with anything, my ass cheeks hanging out like, oh, hold on, let me install this. And, hey, Hellhammer, can you get me this? I don't got to wait for Hellhammer to get around and installing something.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, I can just play my games. I buy a game, install it, and it's good to go, and I like that. I love the fact that it's so simple and so easy to use. Hey, there's AJ Felton. We were talking about you earlier, man. I'm sorry, but nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and I don't think Shenmue collection is going to do very
AJ,
well.
we mentioned you earlier, buddy, about Shenmue. I told him, he asked me, he's like, hey, Mooch, now this is this will probably be next on your list of things to get. And I think I did the same thing I did to you. I gave him the old, that Danny DeVito where he's just shaking his head. Nah.
No.
Nope. Like, I get, there's a lot of things I love. There's a lot of things I don't mind going back to revisit, even if it's just to play for a little while. But the Shenmue series, I don't know. I guess it's not my bag, baby.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's just not my bag.
I don't even know what this is doing in here. It's not my bag.
That's
baby.
not my bag. I don't even know how it got in there. And it's like, this is. I can't even do the impression of it. But it's
not my bag.
He's like,
baby.
This is My Bag, Baby by Austin Powers, the book written by Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He wrote the book.
Yeah,
this kind of thing is my bag.
So good.
This kind of thing is my bag, baby, by Austin Powers. You wrote 2 novels. Oh, he's like, I forgot about that. So yeah, we got that going on. We've had a great chat. Crap, this has been a fantastic night, by the way.
I've got one more thing I wanted to talk about, which is Turn 10.
Yeah,
confirms that the entire team is working on Forza Motorsport 7, so it looks like no Forza 8 next year.
Hey, Crap, me and you had a lengthy discussion. We didn't agree. It was, and even though AJ says he's buying a Crap's right, a Mooch is right t-shirt should go out to everybody in the audience. I said, listen, I have no problem. We'll take a couple years, guys. Make the game a little more different. I don't know. Do something. I'm not a car enthusiast, so I don't have any ideas. Okay, I'm not a car enthusiast, and I'm not a game developer, so I don't have the ideas. I'm sorry. But all I can say is Forza 5, Forza 6, Forza 7. To me personally, from the outside, it's the same thing. I know. Come on, Mooch. Come on. They put tune-ups in this last one. I'm like, what? You put tune-ups? We put tune-ups in. You just needed new spark plugs? They actually spark if you put them in wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. You put them in the wrong side, they spark? They do. So it's like, all right.
Well, it's interesting because they're working on making that game good. I guess they're gonna probably give it a little bit of break. Hey, stop 6 Doc with the 10 spot. He says, buddy. Fellas, controller all day. You're right, man. You're definitely right, 100%. I can't disagree with that, man. It's I'm controller all day. That's the way that is. That's just the way it's gonna be. So for me personally, I like it. But look, the Forza thing, I don't know. Like if we don't have that next year, then what are we going to have? Like I kind of count on those for me personally, cause I like them, but maybe they're going to push that one back, to 2020 to launch the next Xbox. Right.
That's fine. Do it.
But then what does that do to the Horizon series? Are they going to get a break and start something new?
No, I think Horizon may, it'll have its continuation.
Are they gonna just do like the game as a service thing with those? You think? Because that look here's the thing. Rocket League, right, or Soccer Cars. They said, hey, we're not going to do a Soccer Cars 2. We're going to treat it as a games as a service type thing.
Right.
Which you just keep adding content. Right.
And you buy if you want.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm okay. Well, look, listen, why not?
I know you're not as big a Forza fan as me.
I'm not a Forza. I'm not. There's no disrespect to it. Forza's the best game out there for driving enthusiasts. There, I said it flat out. There's no but. I'm just not a car enthusiast fan. So, like, am I excited for Forza Horizon 4? Yes. I always enjoy to put somewhere between realistically 15 to 30 hours in. That's me. After that, after I go through most of the races, I've kind of had it. I don't feel like racing crap's invisible, like, you know, like this ghost car.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, everybody get around here. Look. I just beat Crapgamer's ghost car.
They would be wild, man. They're like, wow, really?
Wow, you did it? You did? Really? You really? That happened? Yes, I'm not even going to play Xbox the rest of the week. I'm so excited.
I'm pumped.
I don't see, that's not my thing. Maybe it's also because, like I say, it's not my bag. It's not my bag. You know? I mean, my whole thing is this crap. Like I said, if I use the example, I don't genuinely look forward to playing PC gaming because I'm on the PC all day. I drive a lot too. So it's like, driving to me, driving's not like, I very rarely find driving fun. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get milk and put on a pair of driving gloves. You know, I'm off to the supermarket. You know, it's like, I don't care. Do I have a sports car? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, you go 10 miles over the limit. You got a guy behind you giving you a ticket telling you can't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My whole thing is like, I don't, so I'm not talking anybody out of it that loves it. It is fantastic. But for me personally, if they wanted to space these games out a little bit, crap, I say go for it.
Yeah.
Take
you know what? Like,
time.
I really love these games. So it sucks saying that, but you're right, man. Like, Halo, the next Halo game is probably going to be better off since they were able to do a new engine and all this stuff for it. Right. Like, let's just be honest. It's going to be better off. Right. Gears having that full, actually longer time for the next Gears game is going to make it better off. I'm sure they're able to do more things.
Absolutely.
A little bit of innovation there. Hopefully you're right, man. It just sucks waiting because with consoles, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because we're able to take the stuff.
Look at what you've had though. Look, you like racing games. Let's speak in your terms. Forget me for a second. So you like racing games and you're like, it kind of stinks. Now I got to wait. But then you've got games like Dirt 4, Need for Speed 2. Yeah. You've got
Onrush is really good.
Onrush, right?
Yeah.
There's all these other games that are coming out in between. There's unbelievable. What is it there? Project Cars. Like there's all this stuff that keeps coming out. So you're never going to be completely dry. And as a matter of fact, I think at one point this generation crap, I think it was in the past 12 months. Remember we got overly saturated? Remember it was like
Project Cars 2
and Need for Speed and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then one of the Forzas came out and it was like everybody just kind of got tired.
Now we get the Crew 2 and that game looks like trash though. It got eviscerated with the scores, man, like 60 something. You know, just very poorly did with the meta or whatever. I think that, well, if you look, Forza Horizon 4, whether you like it or not, those are the top of the pops. You know what I mean? Those
Absolutely. Forza 4 is going to be glorious crap.
Yeah, that game, it has like the crazy taxi mode. You can buy land. It's got the living world, but you don't have to do that. You can disable that as well. So it's like they're always, it's got the changing seasons, dynamic seasons. Think about this, right?
That's cool.
If you look at, so like everybody wants to praise Sony's exclusives, right? But look at some of the exclusives that they had in the racing genre, how they match up against the Xbox ones, and they're not even close.
No,
they're not even close. Like dynamic seasons, are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. That is
living world. Like I remember Drive Club was supposed to have like this big social racer.
Yeah.
And they were like, you can have 12 people in your clubs. And then that E3 Forza Horizon 3 was announced, or 2 or whatever it was, that had like 500 person clubs, and they totally just crapped all over the quote unquote social racer.
Yeah. Listen, the Indie Gamer goes, Mooch, they're supposedly working on a third Forza series. Let me tell you this much, Indy. I'll tell you this much. If you want to get someone like Mooch and gamers like me back into the whole drive, you know what the last game that you were in a car that I loved was? Twisted Metal. And I know I've said it. I know I've said, and I understand.
Playing Onrush.
Onrush is it's close. It's close, but Onrush doesn't have like nuclear missiles off the side of your car.
You know, a game I was playing the other day. I found it from my Dreamcast. It's called Star Wars Demolition. It's Twisted Metal with Star Wars characters.
I'm telling you that's like the Star Wars toilet paper crap. I just how much Star Wars can we take? I'm almost listen. And it's not fair because a lot of people in the audience will be like, "Come on, Mooch."
Come on, Mooch.
Or bust.
Yeah, Star
Wars
or bust. Yeah.
Right? Everything else doesn't even stand a chance. I get it. You like it. I'm not saying it's bad. Do you understand? I grew up watching the crap. I watched 4, 5, and 6. Probably more than anybody who would ever yell at me.
Just like I watched 1, 2, and 3. Like I didn't get into Star Wars till those, right? And now, what's funny is when you watch people talk about how they used to talk about how bad those were, and now they see the new ones, and now they're like, they go back and they go, you know what? Those prequels weren't so bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for me personally, it's like
the prequels weren't so bad.
Man, I like them. I didn't like them a lot.
I mean, in the prequels, I really liked 3. I really like 3.
3 is my all-time favorite. Still is.
Three's up there.
3, but I gotta say, 1 was the first one that I saw.
1 was
in the
good.
Theater.
2 you really could flush.
Well, you know what?
It's too much. It's too much
weird
story,
for me. That was like the love story. I was married at the time. Story. It was like it was cool. I saw it when I was married, so it was like I don't know.
I mean, there's memories there. I can't take that away from your crap. But I mean, as far as the movie itself, grading the movie itself, look, I'm not trying to make Star Wars go on with the wind. I mean, let's get to the goddamn. Why lightsabers? Okay.
Why 9 Power says Force Awakens wasn't bad. I actually liked Force Awakens. I thought it was good. They put some new good characters out, and then they ruined those characters in the next one, right? My boy Finn, they got him running around doing busy work, right?
I thought they could have made Finn a better character, crap. And I don't like who's the pilot, the hotshot pilot?
Poe. He was good in the first one, but in the second one, he was just like, eh.
I can't really say he was that good in the first one. Crap, he wasn't really in the first one.
Well,
remember he's in the beginning, and then the thing crashed, and we went with Finn, and that was it.
Originally, and this is my Star Wars nerd, he died at that part, right? But test audiences liked his character, so they brought him back.
Well, they didn't just bring him back. They brought him back and made him the goddamn star of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him in the first one. I liked Force Awakens a lot, and then they really ruined the stuff for me with the next one. But that's the whole reason I know people are like, Solo didn't really interest me, mainly because I paid a lot of money to go see that Last Jedi at IMAX, and I just felt really crapped on with that movie. And I was like, so you just really, like where you're eating something and you get, if you've ever been food poisoned, whatever it is that gave you food poisoning, you don't go back to it. You don't go back to that for a long time, ever. So basically, I feel like the Last Jedi food poisoned me on Star Wars movies at the theater. So I'll go back and see 9 or whatever it is, and see. Hopefully, they can correct some of the bullshit. But
I think they will.
They better. Like that. Some of that stuff, like you got to have a payoff. You can't just tease this stuff and then not have a payoff. You gotta have a payoff there for sure.
No, I totally agree with you. I think they'll rebound. I really think that they know they made a complete and utter oops, and now they're gonna have these other things. Like Solo was affected by it.
Oops. So without the oops.
Yes, this time without the oops.
Without the oops.
He's like,
hey, check your DM real quick.
Okay. I was like, whenever Crop says that, heartbeat goes up a smidgen. Oh, there it is. That's so great. This sort of thing is my bag, baby. My Osgood Powers. You found it. It's so good. I think he's totally past the prime now, which sucks. But I said this years ago. And when I mean years ago, I don't mean on YouTube. I mean years ago. I'm like, well, can we please get another Austin Powers before Mike Myers is way too old to do it?
Yeah.
And it's probably way past his prime now. But if you go back and watch, especially 1 and 2, it is downright. There's just some lines. Yeah. I mean, allow myself to introduce
myself.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It is. Like, here's the thing. I saw part 2 in the theater probably about 6 or 7 times. I just because the 60s is like I like that era a lot. The music and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a lot of 60s, and it had Heather Graham in there.
Heather Graham. You can't go to this roller girl.
Exactly, dude. So exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I saw that movie with my friends. We must have saw it like 6, 7, 8 times.
Oh my god, great movie.
Yeah. So it's like I didn't like 3 as much, but
3 was okay, but 3 you could see they were rinse and repeating the jokes.
Yeah. So and now like I would love to see them do another one just to see where they're at now. Hopefully, like I had heard a rumor that they might do that, but who knows? Anyway, Mooch, thanks for hanging out for an hour plus.
Yes.
And what do we got going on? We got Crossfire tomorrow.
7 p.m. Eastern. Everything gets back to normal, folks. So if you missed Mooch and Crap, and also believe it or not, I'm doing a star appearance on Boom's Breakfast with Boom tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Boom's channel. So if you really want to make it a Mooch weekend, Breakfast with Boom. Now, see, if I lived a little bit closer to Boom, I actually would go over there and demand he made some breakfast.
Yes.
Then we would do the show. I would Mooch breakfast.
You want breakfast and blue M&Ms, and then
I guarantee you, Boom makes a hell of a breakfast. I got a feeling he's one of those guys that gets up right, and he just makes like turbo pancakes, bacon, everything. This guy goes all out. So. I'll be on that. We've got, again, Crossfire 7 p.m. and then we've got M&C on Sunday. So it's going to be a full-fledged Mooch and Crap week.
It is. It's going to be a great time, man. We appreciate you guys. Please hit that like button. We appreciate you guys spending some time with us tonight. Hopefully you guys all had a great 4th of July, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Later. Peace out. Xbox.